Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, Chapter 1, Sutra 43. It goes like this: smṛtipariśuddhau svarūpaśūnyevārthamātranirbhāsā nirvitarkā. Smriti, memory; Parishuddhau, purification; Svarūpa, own nature; Shunya, devoid of; Iva, as it were; Artha, as the object; Matra, alone; Nirbhāsa, shining; Nirvitarka, distinctive, wordless. So it goes like this: the storehouse of memory, completely purified, one's own true self shines forth beyond thought. Let us go one by one. When memory is purified, smṛtipariśuddhau. Smriti refers to the mind's tendency to recall past impressions, concepts, or associations. Parishuddhi means cleansing the mind of all conditioned thoughts and subjective interpretations. In meditation, when memory is purified, the mind no longer superimposes ideas of or past experiences onto the object. Svarūpaśūnyevārthamātranirbhāsā. The mind becomes almost transparent or void of its own agenda, thoughts, or self-referencing identity. Arthamātranirbhāsā. In this state, the object of meditation is perceived in its purest form, unfiltered. The mind no longer imposes words, logics, or interpretations. Nirvitarkā. Nirvitarkā is a meditative absorption where reasoning has ceased. It is the second stage of samadhi after savitarka, where gross mental activity falls away. The mind is fully absorbed in the object with no conceptual overlays. So let us summarize the understanding. Smriti is a memory, remembered knowledge, or content of the subconscious. In the context of this sutra, smriti refers to the conditioning effect of previous vritti preconceptions on our understanding of the present moment. If we can short-circuit this process, then our knowledge becomes parishuddha, or well purified. In this state of mind, the nature of our meditative focus achieves its purest identity or svarūpa. The object is then empty of form. All that is left is the most basic nature of the meditative object, freed from our past experiences and personal attachments. The objects stand alone. It is only shining in our minds. This type of knowledge is nirvitarka samadhi. To put it in very simplest possible expression, in the light of all the recent pours given to few sadhakas on vasanas or impressions, when all these years you have been having a very gross level of impression about a person, let us treat the person as an object. Then, as per this understanding of this verse, then in the meditative state, all the impressions are gone, all the previous thoughts of the previous experiences with that person, which caused impressions or vasanas about that person in your mind, has gone, and the person just remains, exists without our having any impression about that person. And to throw open a grand revelation on this aspect, if and only if you are able to see each person in this world devoid of any impression, then it is like seeing each person as divine. Exactly how Swami would see each of us in this I Kulwant Hall. Swami Vivekananda's commentary, the gist of the commentary of Swami Vivekananda on this verse is given now. Here is the chitta. You will always remember the simile of the lake, mind stuff, and the vibration, the word, the sound, like a pulsation coming over it. You have the calm lake in you, and I pronounce a word, cow, C-O-W, cow. As soon as it enters through your ears, there is a wave produced in your chitta along with it. So that wave represents the idea of the cow, the form or the meaning as we call it. So, there are these three: sound, senses, and the wave produced in your memory. You can replace the sound with any other sensation like touch or sight, etc. And depending upon whether it is a sound or a touch or a sight or smell, it enters through the respective cognitive senses, jnana indriyas. And finally, the wave or the experience of the sense is stored in your memory. Coming back to the saint's commentary, in the example of cow, that apparent cow that you know is really that wave in the mind stuff. And that comes as a reaction to the internal and external sound vibrations. And with the sound, the wave dies away. That wave can never exist without a word. You may ask, how is it that when you think of the cow, you are only thinking of the cow and do not hear a sound? You make that sound yourself. You are saying cow faintly in your mind, and with that comes a wave. There cannot be a wave without this impulse of a sound. And when it is not from outside, it is from inside. And when sound dies, the wave dies. What remains? The result of the reaction, that is the knowledge. These three are so closely combined in our mind that we cannot separate them. When the sound comes, the senses vibrate and the wave rises in reaction. They follow so closely upon one another that there is no discerning one from the other. When this meditation has been practiced for a long time, memory, the receptacle of all impressions, becomes purified, and we are able to distinguish them from one another. This is called nirvitarkā, concentration without reasoning. Unquote. To sum up, In short, from the process, this is a cow. This is the whole summary of the learning from Vivekananda's commentary. This is a cow. First came the sight, and then the memory whispered, or yes, the mind whispered, "Oh cow." And then our sense captured the sight of the cow along with the sound whispered by us cow. And the senses carry it through to the memory lake chitta as the wave. Now, so this is summarized as this is a cow. Now, what is this nirvitarka state? The cow remains there, the cow doesn't vanish from our memory lake, but it is a harmless memory now. What is more important if in the expression this is a cow is the easiness. This was explained in the SJAB session clearly. The easiness, that is the pure existence. So it could be this is a cow. There is an elephant. This is the house of Ram. This school is where I studied. In all these expressions, when the thought or the chitta is transcended, the active memory of the experiences with that object is transcended. What remains is the ease. The ease is common in all these expressions. This is Ram, this is elephant, this is my school. The ease is common. That is pure chit. Now we move on to glimpses of commentary of Osho on this verse. He writes, mind is memory. It is like a computer. To be exact, it is a biocomputer. It accumulates all that is experienced, all that is known. Though through many lives, through millions of experiences, the mind gathers memory. It is a vast phenomenon. Millions and millions of memories are stored in it. All your past lives are stored in it. Scientists say even in a single moment, thousands of memories are being collected continuously without our knowing. The mind goes on functioning. Even while you are asleep, memories are being formed. Even while you are asleep, somebody cries and weeps. Your senses are functioning and collecting the experiences. You may not be able to recall it in the morning because you were not conscious. But in deep hypnosis, it can be recalled. In deep hypnosis, everything that knowingly and or unknowingly you have experienced ever can be recalled back, even your past lives. The simple expanse of the mind is really vast. These memories are good if you can use them, but these memories are dangerous if they start using you. A pure mind is that mind who is master of its own memories. An impure mind is that mind who is continuously impressed by the memories. When you look at a fact, you can look without interpreting it. The consciousness in that case is in direct touch with the reality. Or you have the option to look through the mind through various interpretations. In that case, you are not in touch with the reality. Whenever you see a fact, if you see it directly, immediately, without the mind and the memory coming in, only then it is a fact. Otherwise, it becomes an interpretation. And all interpretations are false because all interpretations are loaded by your past experience. You can only see things which are in tune with your past experience. You cannot see things which are not in tune with your past experience. And your past experience is not at all true. Life is bigger, much bigger than your past experience. However big the mind may be, it is just a tiny part if you consider the whole existence so small. The known is very little, the unknown is vast and infinite. When you try to know the unknown through the known, then you miss the point. This is the impurity. When you try to know the unknown by the unknown inside you, then there is revelation. The expressions you may find it difficult. That is how Osho explains. But they have got great depth. Differentiating between the direct seeing without the mind and the memory coming in, or seeing anything with the interpretation which your mind has already stored in your chitta out of the past experiences with that object. It is like differentiating between how Swami sees all of us and how we see all others. Very simple expression. Swami sees all of us as direct, though he knows all our previous, all our present, all our future karmas or births. Still, every time he sees us directly, without any mind involved, without any interpretation involved out of any past experience. Whereas we see everyone, every object with our own interpretation. Interpretation means retrieving the wave, retrieving the experience stored in our memory out of our past experiences with that object, which we call it as this experience. Retrieving the experience is vasanas. Direct and interpretation. No matter how gross, Rajneesh continues, no matter how gross the object of your concentration and how concrete its shape and size is, there comes a time in meditation when the mind becomes so absorbed in the object that the distinction between you as the meditator, the object of meditation, and the process of meditation begins to blend into one another. At that point in meditation, the mind crosses the field of space occupied by the object and begins to penetrate the very field of retentive power, where the word and its meaning lie in their homogeneous form. At that state, the yogin no longer has to fight with the memory to stop it from whimsically and impulsively showing him so many impressions on their visual and audial forms. With such distractions reduced to nil, he progresses quickly and is able to move his attention into the realm of the Chidakasha, the sky of consciousness. At this stage, when the mind naturally becomes concentrated on the meaning alone, nirvitarkā samadhi arises, a state of mind fully aware of the pure meaning of the word, not the word itself and not its corresponding form. In other words, the mind is fully focused on the feeling. For example, you begin your meditation by focusing on the cross. Initially, you are aware of the word cross, its meaning, and the shape indicated by the word. But as your meditation deepens, the word cross and the shape indicated by it are left behind. The mind is absorbed in the pure feeling of the sacredness inherent in the word and the idea. This level of stillness of mind is called nirvitarkā samadhi. Unquote. Sage from the Ananda Kutir writes, he who dwells in the subconscious mind or chitta and in memory, and who is within this memory, whom the chitta and the memory do not know, whose body is in the memory, who rules the memory and chitta from within, is I self, the inner ruler, immortal Atman, or Antaryami, or Amritam. Unquote. Nirvitarkā samadhi is a state of deep concentration where the mind merges with the object, transcending awareness of the object's name, qualities, and even the thinking process itself. It is a stage beyond Savitarka Samadhi, where the mind is still aware of the object's name and qualities. In essence, the meditator experiences a oneness with the object, free from any mental constructs or distinctions between subject and object. When you contemplate the whole universe as if it is in space and time, it is the lower samadhi, savitarka. When you are struggling and achieving to obviate the interference of space and time and attack the universe as it is in itself without any kind of association of space and time, that is nirvitarka samadhi, a higher state. Not clear? Let him conclude this satsang with very, very direct example which you all can relate to as Sai devotees or bhaktas of with any of your chosen deity. When at the initial beginning stage in our path of devotion, we start thinking of Swami or any chosen deity. In our case, let him take the example of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba and explain. All other seekers who are not exposed or who do not know about Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, you may refer to any of your chosen deity, any chosen deity of yours, and glide along with me. When initially you are focusing on God, says Satya Sai Baba, your mind is absorbed in Swami. Of course, your mind is not thinking of any other object now, but still in the lower state of Samadhi, Savitarka Samadhi, your mind is totally absorbed in Swami, but Swami's Leelas or your experiences with Swami, your interviews with Swami, or the sparshan you had of Swami, or those little conversations or couple of words which Swami spoke with you while gliding through, while passing by you, and all miracles of Swami, all those things are not gone from your mind. They are all still there. All experiences related to the object, they are not still gone. Okay. This is Savitarka Samadhi. It is Samadhi because you are not having any thought about any other thing. You are focused on one object. A lower Samadhi. Now the Bhakta progresses in his devotion. What we call as single-pointed devotion. As he keeps on thinking and focusing on Swami, when he enters a Sai center and sings or follows the bhajans on Thursdays or Sundays for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, a stage comes with the grace of Bhagavan when, as he often explains, the fragrance of Bhagavan, not the physical fragrance, the fragrance, the essence of all the experiences, the essence of all the experiences remains. The fragrance or the sweetness or the purity of the sum total of all experiences with Swami, that remains. But all the various other thoughts of darshan, sparshan, sambhashan, miracle stories of Swami, his form, his enchanting beauty, Sundara Shyam, Nayanabhiram, all those things are gone. This is nirvitarkā samadhi. Hope you are clear now. So, as per this verse, and which you can very clearly correlate with the real-time example given about Swami and your experience of Swami, what this particular verse says, it says, when the storehouse of memory completely gets purified, that means in our case, all the memories are gone. Purified means they are all gone, but the sum total of all the experiences, the object remains it in its purest state without any interpretation or any experience or any impression related to the object existing in the mind. This is the state of that purification of mind which Sage Patanjali refers to in this verse. What happens as per this verse? Relate this with the example of Swami's given to you. What happens? One's own true self shines forth beyond any thought. without any sankalpa vikalpa, without memory, without vasanas, without experiences. The easiness of Sai remains. Various other attributes of Sai, the beauty of Sai, the beauty of your experiences with Sai, all are gone. The easiness remains. That is what often he refers as to the fragrance remains. The object is not thought of, but the fragrance remains. Not the fragrance of the incense stick. Don't go by the literal meaning of fragrance. The fragrance of sum total of all the experiences remains. Experiences with God remains. The God's form may also be seen in that picture, in the shrine, in the temple, in the Sai center. But the picture now doesn't push the bhakta to any thought of any experience or any leela of that Bhagavan. The fragrance remains. All other attributes of the object or all other attributes of God is gone. Hari Om Tat Sat.